right, here's the video review for Transformers Beast Wars, or Transformers Legacy United Beast Wars Universe Silverbolt. It is Silverbolt finally as a Voyager. He's a Voyager class. And I wish I had my original to compare them to, because it's really kind of neat how differently they made him transform, and yet how similar they made him transform based on the original. There's some things the original does maybe a little better. There's some things this one does a little better. But it really is neat how familiar and yet different his transformation is. Now, one of the things that, and I've had some people correct me that you can unpeg the things, and you absolutely can. My point is not that you can't do it, but his wolf mode, you've got a hinge here and a hinge here for the wing. So you can have it, you can go it up, however you want to do it. You can pretty much get the wings in pretty much any angle position you want. These pieces can fold back, so if you want to have them folded down by his side in wolf mode, you can do that. His mouth opens and closes. And that's about it for posability. You can get his feet, because of the ankle tilt for robot mode, can kind of turn side to side. He's got a hinge here, but he can't, his claws can't grasp anymore. His feet are one solid piece. Same back here, the legs, all of the forelegs, or the upper legs, peg into the body. So you get a little bit of movement here on this small hind leg, but not a lot. You can, in fact, untab them. You can see there's little tabs here that give you a little bit more range of motion, but the feet themselves, when they're further out, they don't sit flat. They're just more awkward. You can get some different poses out of him if you want to have his legs more forward or tucked back. Have these coming back for a flying pose. You can do that. You can unpeg them, but because they're designed to be locked into those pegs, it can be a little awkward from certain angles. It's a minor complaint because it is a really cool wolf eagle hybrid Fusor mode, and a nice representation of Silverbolt. But I wish there was a little bit more consideration given for it, especially if these were locked back and these had a little bit more range of motion or dynamism in how you could pose them. I'd be happy. Or his wolf head, he's got that. He can open his jaw to a varying degree, and that's about it for his wolf head. He does have very vibrant yellow eyes, though. Like I said, minor complaints all. And his robot mode is great. And again, the transformation here, it's really neat how similar and yet completely different it is. And that you lift up, you unpeg the legs here and bring them down. You want to rotate them around at the thigh and then bring the feet flat. They will actually click up in the, on this. Here's the pivot, and then this thing, they actually do clip all the way into place and lock into place onto that ankle tilt hinge. But then on the original, these kind of came out and down and around and formed a hollow part in the body where the wolf head would flip into to form the chest, and this piece would fold around to form his little stomach jewel and his cod flap, whatever you want to call it, on his robot mode. And then the back arms, which are still, the back legs are still his robot mode arms, would come forward on a hinge that would come forward like this, and the wings would stay like this. The difference here now is these legs stay in place. You unpeg the wolf head here, lift up the tail, and this whole head and wing assembly kind of lifts up and rotates around like this to come down for the legs. His belly actually folds down to reveal the stomach piece. And these arms, instead of coming from behind onto the torso, fold down, untab from here, fold down around like this, and then fold back in. And this tab does clip in, so when you fold this around, it doesn't just stop right there. You snap it into place, and it locks that shoulder hinge into place. The legs transform just like they used to on the old one, where you fold the wolf leg up onto the back of the bicep, and the forearms fold down. And then the robot mode head flips up out of the body. Now, this whole panel actually does come forward as well. Before you lock these in, this whole panel can come forward. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, because you don't need to do it for the transformation. It may help to get the wolf head out, but the robot mode head can fold into the body and then just flips right up. So I'm not sure why they made that completely hinge all the way up. But anyway, before you fold it, you can even fold his head forward, fold the wolf head down, and it comes into the body right here. Actually, okay, maybe you do need to do that before you snap the wings together. Come on, what's your problem here? Maybe I do need to bring that all the way forward. Okay, so that does need to come all the way out. My apologies, because I've been flipping it out just out of habit. I didn't realize that was actually a necessary step. So it does come forward to allow the wolf head to get all the way in there. But you see now his wolf head kind of sits in his chest facing forward, and the wings fit on the back. And again, you've got those double hinges, so if you want to have them flat up against his body, if you want to have them spread up like this, you can do it. If you want to kind of tuck them back a little further, you can. But there is his quite nice robot mode. His mouth is not open in robot mode, but he does have a kind of bulge on at the head, although the way his neck is shaped, he mostly can look side to side. He can kind of look down a little bit, maybe a little bit up. He's got dual hinge at the shoulder, bicep swivel, collapsible hinge there at the wrist or the elbow, although if you do bring it all the way forward, that will pop the wolf leg out a little bit. And it does have a wrist swivel, which is nice. There's no waist swivel because of... Oh, wait, there is a waist swivel. How about that? I thought because of the way it transformed, it wouldn't have one, but it does. It has a waist swivel. And then double hinge hips, thigh swivel, hinge knees, and then you got some ankle tilt. And you can unpeg that or untab that foot from that piece if you want to have them in a more dynamic pose. But nice ankle tilt worked in. Like I said, the wings can come up. And like I said, the original toy... The wings, because of the way he transformed, the wings would just stay flat kind of out here on his chest. So you can't bring his wings up over his shoulders to bring his little feather launchers forward, although they aren't launchers anymore. There's no spring-loaded bits on this. But you can fold his wings onto his back, which is nice. Personally, I think that's a more preferable. If the wings have to be in one position, I'd rather have them foldable on his back like this than the way they would constantly just kind of have to sit and take up some space side to side on his shoulders on the original. The missiles aren't missiles, but they do come off. I mean, you can see the underside is a little hollow, although they've painted it to make it a little less obvious, but it does have those hollow bits in it. But that helps you, because of that, they stay on the underside in wolf mode, and they are specifically, you can see the grooves inside of them are different. They are keyed to different wings. This one has one long tab that fits in the middle, so when you plug it in, you can only plug it in so when it's in wolf mode that the hollow faces down. And same on this side. It has two smaller tabs that fit into these grooves, so it can only go on one way. Which is kind of nice that they did that. They didn't have to. They could have made them the same and let you do that. But sorry, plug them in, and you can give them to him. And he's got his weapons. Like I said, they don't launch anymore, but they can still be used as handheld weapons. Or you can just keep them on the wings. But yeah, really lovely representation of Silverbolt. I really hope we get a Rampage at some point, and Depth Charge. And then I think we'll have at least, or Quick Strike. Rampage, Depth Charge, and Quick Strike. And then we'll at least have all of the original main characters from the show. Although I would love to see some transmetal versions of the characters that got transmetal versions come out, but alas. Anyway, just as a size comparison, here he is with Black Arachnia. I could have brought out a bunch of other characters to show off, but they look really great together. I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to put them on the shelf, because right now she's on the Predacon shelf with the Maximal shelf right above it. And I'm gonna have to decide if maybe I want to find a place for these two together somewhere, because they really do look fantastic next to each other. But yeah, like I said, I wish the wolf mode had a little bit more leeway for how you could pose it without having to untab it and make it look a little awkward. But all in all, a very nice, very solid, very welcome addition to the Legacy line, and especially to the Beast Wars figures we've been getting since War for Cybertron. And really excited to have him back on the shelf. There is Transfomers Legacy United Silverbolt, Beast Wars Silverbolt.